Do you know the answer? Today's quiz is packed with surprising questions and fascinating facts. We'll take a quick journey through history, science, geography, mythology, and literature. You'll discover where pineapples originally came from, which country has the longest coastline on Earth, and what the very first version of ketchup was actually made from. We'll also find out which creature has no eyes, which famous landmark was built as a tomb, and how many years Robinson Crusoe spent on a deserted island. There are 20 fast-paced questions, so trust your instincts and see how many you can get right. And don't forget, there's a bonus question waiting for you at the very end. When you're finished, let us know your score and your bonus answer in the comments. Now, let's see how many correct answers you can get. Let's begin. Here's your first question. What was the original Chinese sauce kê-tsiap, the ancestor of modern ketchup, made from? Was it mushrooms and nuts, fresh tomatoes, soybeans, or fermented fish? That's right, fermented fish. Long before ketchup became a tomato condiment, kê-tsiap was a salty, fermented fish sauce popular in southern China. European traders later brought the idea to Europe, where the recipe changed over time. Tomatoes weren't added until centuries later, creating the ketchup we know today. Let's move on to question 2. What did the ancient Greeks call amber? Was it helios, electron, quartz, or phaethon? The correct answer is electron. The Greek word electron meant amber because people noticed that rubbed amber could attract tiny objects using static electricity. Thousands of years later, that same word inspired the modern terms electric and electricity. Ready for another one? In Western art, which fruit is most commonly depicted as the forbidden fruit in the Garden of Eden? Was it a fig, a pomegranate, an apple, or a grape? If you picked the apple, you're correct. Interestingly, the Bible never actually names the forbidden fruit. The apple became the most familiar choice in European art and culture over many centuries, which is why it's now closely associated with the Garden of Eden. Here's a fun one. What is a honeyguide? Is it an insect, a reptile, a mammal, or a bird? The correct answer is a bird. Honeyguides are famous for leading people and other animals to wild beehives. After the hive is opened, the birds feast on the leftover wax and bee larvae. A rare example of cooperation between wild birds and humans. Now for question 5. Which famous structure was originally built as a tomb? Was it the Taj Mahal, the Eiffel Tower, Big Ben, or the Colosseum? The correct answer is the Taj Mahal. The Taj Mahal was built by Emperor Shah Jahan as a mausoleum for his wife, Mumtaz Mahal. Today, it's one of the world's most recognizable landmarks and is often called one of the greatest monuments ever built for love. Let's keep going. Which cuisine is famous for the delicacy known as the century egg? Was it Indian, Swedish, Chinese, or Icelandic? The correct answer is Chinese. Despite its name, a century egg isn't 100 years old. It's traditionally preserved for just a few weeks or months using a special curing process. The result is a creamy yolk and a dark jelly-like egg white that has been enjoyed in China for centuries. Here's another challenge. Which of these creatures does not have eyes? Is it a mole, a snail, an earthworm, or a bat? That's right, an earthworm. Earthworms don't have eyes, but they can still detect light using special cells in their skin. That helps them stay underground, where they avoid sunlight that could dry out their bodies. Now let's test your geography knowledge. Which country has the longest coastline in the world? Is it Canada, Australia, Russia, or Chile? The correct answer is Canada. Canada's coastline stretches for more than 125,000 miles, touching the Atlantic, Pacific, and Arctic Oceans. That's longer than the coastlines of every other country combined? Actually, no. But it is the longest coastline of any single country by a wide margin. Think carefully about this one. In Greek mythology, what was the food of the gods that granted eternal youth and immortality? Was it panacea, ambrosia, amrita, or manna? If you chose ambrosia, you're correct. Greek myths describe ambrosia as the divine food of the Olympian gods. It was believed to keep them forever young and immortal. Its companion drink was often called nectar, another symbol of divine power. Halfway there, here's question 10. The hoopoe is the national bird of which country? Was it Argentina, Israel, France, or Scotland? The correct answer is Israel. The colorful hoopoe was chosen as Israel's national bird in 2008 after a nationwide public vote. It's easy to recognize by its striking fan-shaped crest, which it raises whenever it's excited or alarmed. Only a few more to go. Where did pineapples originally come from? Was it Australia, Africa, Asia, or South America? The correct answer is South America. Pineapples first grew in South America, where indigenous peoples cultivated them long before Europeans arrived. When Christopher Columbus encountered the fruit in the Caribbean, it quickly became one of the most sought-after exotic foods in Europe. Here's another one. Which country is home to the ancient city of Petra? Was it Egypt, Saudi Arabia, Lebanon, or Jordan? That's right, Jordan. Petra was carved into towering pink sandstone cliffs more than 2,000 years ago by the Nabateans. Hidden in the desert for centuries, it became world famous after appearing in the movie Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. This next one is a little trickier. What is methyl orange? Is it a medicine, a metal, a chemical indicator, or a food additive? The correct answer is a chemical indicator. Methyl orange is commonly used in chemistry labs because it changes color when a solution becomes acidic or alkaline. A few drops can instantly reveal information that's invisible to the naked eye. Ready for another challenge? How many years did Robinson Crusoe spend on the deserted island? Was it 7, 14, 28, or 35? If you chose 28, you're correct. In Daniel Defoe's classic novel, Robinson Crusoe survives alone on a deserted island for 28 years. The story was inspired in part by the real-life adventures of a Scottish sailor who lived in isolation for more than 4 years. Let's see if you know this one. Which Greek god was known as Musagetes, the leader of the Muses? Was it Apollo, Ares, Hermes, or Dionysus? The correct answer is Apollo. Apollo was the Greek god of music, poetry, prophecy, and the arts. His title, Musagetes, means leader of the Muses, the 9 goddesses believed to inspire artists, writers, and musicians throughout ancient Greece. We're almost at the finish line. Which of the 12 apostles is traditionally believed to have died of old age rather than martyrdom? Was it Judas Iscariot, Peter, John the Apostle, or Thomas? The correct answer is John the Apostle. According to long-standing Christian tradition, John was the only one of the 12 apostles who died a natural death. He is also traditionally credited with writing the Gospel of John, 3 epistles, and the Book of Revelation. Here's another classic. Which artist painted the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel? Was it Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, Raphael, or Donatello? That's right, Michelangelo. Michelangelo spent about 4 years painting the Sistine Chapel ceiling while standing high above the floor on specially built scaffolding. The masterpiece contains more than 300 figures and remains one of the greatest achievements in art history. Ready for one more? What breed of dog is traditionally associated with Swiss mountain rescue missions? Was it a Great Dane, a Bernese Mountain Dog, a Saint Bernard, or a Newfoundland? The correct answer is Saint Bernard. Saint Bernards became famous for helping rescue lost travelers in the snowy Alps. The dogs were trained by monks at the Great Saint Bernard Hospice, where they helped locate people trapped in deep snow long before modern rescue equipment existed. Think fast. Which chess piece can move only diagonally? Was it the bishop, the rook, the knight, or the king? If you picked the bishop, you're correct. A bishop can move any number of squares, but only along diagonals. Since it can never leave the color it starts on, each player always has one light square bishop and one dark square bishop. Here's your final question. Which was the last play written by William Shakespeare alone? Was it The Tempest, Macbeth, Othello, or Hamlet? The correct answer is The Tempest. Most Shakespeare scholars consider The Tempest to be the last play he wrote on his own, around 1611. Prospero's decision to give up his magic is often interpreted as Shakespeare's symbolic farewell to the stage before retiring. And now, the bonus question. Complete the proverb. Many a little makes. Is it a fortune, a mickle, a treasure, or a miracle? How many did you get right today? Write your score and your answer to the bonus question in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss the next quiz. Stay curious and have a great day. See you in the next quiz!